Okay, today, boys, you're going to start your next assessment task, which is a mini programming project, and you're going to use what you know about Python. Now, don't get too concerned if you feel like you're not too sure, because this steps you through it, and there's various ways of achieving the assessment here. So you can be a raw beginner, or you can actually in the past, I've had some boys that have done a lot of programming in Python and taught themselves before they even got to our Whitefriars classes. So you'll be working on your next assessment project. You'll do it and save it onto your computer. You need to make sure you read the task carefully and make sure you understand all the criteria and the marking rubric. There are level 2 and level 1 tasks, and you do a combination. Now, if you do just one level 1 task and do it very well, you'll still get a pass mark. However, if you're confident, and a lot of boys have ended up doing several level 1 tasks, and then a combination level 1 and level 2, and some boys in the past have also created their own projects and done their own programming. Now, I'll remind you here, and I'll remind you again, to save your work, the best thing is to copy the link and save it onto a OneNote page or a Word document. And you can even email it to yourself so that you don't forget it. As long as you've got the link, you'll be able to get back into that project. Okay, so let's have a look at the assessment task. So if you click on here, this is your assessment task. Okay, so as I said, you're going to complete a number of projects. There's level 1 tasks and level 2 tasks. And then the extension activity, if you wanted to get an A+, the boys that have done that have all gone in and done some way, either created a Python program from scratch, or altered the ones, a couple of them altered some of the ones in the level 2 and really added and made them much more substantial. Now, during the project, you also have to put in comments to show that you understand what the lines of code do. And to do this, you use a hashtag. Now, I'm going to show you that, and I'll take you through a little bit of programming. And as long as you've got a hashtag in front of a line of text like this, the computer program doesn't read it. So people use this in the real world because usually more than one person is working on projects, and they might use particular, well, as we know, you've got bits of code that people bring in from other programs, other programmers. And so if you're working together with someone, or if you're sharing some particular strings of code, you might use a hashtag to explain to people what is happening in that particular lines of code that you've written. And at the end of the project, you're going to take a screenshot of your final code and paste that into your document. You're going to have the link to you must have the link to your program, and make sure you use the labels that indicate the project name and whether it's level 1 or level 2. Now, here is the marking rubric. Okay, so if you're just developing, you can do one level 1 project and get a 6. If it's done well, you could get a 6. If you put comments in that explain that you've understood all the different sorts of code, why you indent, how you get random numbers, random letters, whatever it is, you could get up to well, some boys have only done level 1, but they've got an 8 or a 7 for their comments. And then this here is your reflection about what you've learnt. Now, I'm going to show you some examples of boys, but if a lot of boys, if you do a certain amount of reflection, showing what you've understood, what you found difficult, what you found easy, how you've improved your programming, you can get a 4. Some boys are very good. It has to be very comprehensive to get a 5, but you would still get a decent mark by getting a 6 and, say, a 4 and an 18. The project is out of 30. So 15 plus 10 is 25 plus 5 is 30. So you can get a pass mark by doing only one project, but doing it well and thinking about what you're doing. So you should copy this down. Now, I will remind you again, but don't forget to put your link to your code in, because for some boys they've left out a bit of code, or they haven't copied it properly, and I need to go in and have a look at the coding, and if I can't do that, then I can't assess it. So that is the task, which is here. Your level 1, you've got 4 level 1 tasks and 4 level 2. I've also put the, we're going to use a platform, a Trinket platform, and these are the places that are set up for these particular tasks. So say, for instance, you want to do secret messages. Let's do password generators. So you'd open up your password generator. Here's our instructions for password generator. And you also need to open up the password generator. Now, sometimes they're the same, but some already have some background information for you. Now, actually, what we'll do is we'll open it up in a new window, because if you're at home and you can't print, it'll be useful for you to have 2 separate windows. So here is our Trinket, where you're going to write your code. And if I hold down the window key and the arrow key, it puts it across to one side, and then I want to see my instructions, so I put them across. So now I can see them side by side. So it tells you what you're going to do. This particular project is going to be a password generator. So you're going to learn how to create, you're wanting, this is a completed program. You want 4 passwords, you want the length to be 15, and your program has come up with 4 15-character length passwords. Now it starts off by getting people to look at their password security and how strong is their password and how secure. You've already done this in our earlier tasks, so we can go past this because we don't need it. You could, of course, check the passwords that you generate in your program.